Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, and we're going to talk about the incredible power of Dungeon Masters and how we as Dungeon Masters need to begin to own that power and realize exactly who we are in this world, that we are the most powerful force in the world for fixing the world. All right, so let's get into this. All right, so I have this incredibly, and we're going to be talking about Nathan Fielder and his show, The Rehearsal. All right, let's jump into this. All right, so I have this incredibly unique view of Dungeons & Dragons. So I believe that Dungeons & Dragons is not a game, but is actually a human improvement engine, right? And it completely changes the way I talk about Dungeons & Dragons, the way I perceive Dungeons & Dragons, and the way I use Dungeons & Dragons, right? And so I have this belief that Dungeons & Dragons is the most powerful filter in the world for charismatic, confident, and intelligent people. That's the only people who engage with it, especially at the Dungeon Master level. All Dungeon Masters are fundamentally charismatic, confident, and intelligent. And the reason why is if you're not going to be a Dungeon Master long. It's the way it works, okay? So I also believe, because of that, no one in the world is more powerful and more positioned to save the world from its biggest problems than Dungeon Masters. You're like, wait a second, what about scientists and politicians and law enforcement? None of them. Look at all these institutions. They're massively failing across the board. And our society are rejecting them and saying, this is not where we want our solutions to come from, because you refuse to give us solutions in the past. You're capable of it, but your agendas don't allow it, right? Whereas Dungeon Masters have what's needed. They have charisma, confidence, and intelligence, right? But they also, they don't have agenda the way these politicians, the way these scientists, and the way law enforcement does. They just don't, right? Like billionaires also, right? Like increasingly, all these people who should be able to solve the problems of the world are taken off the board for doing that by themselves, right? So now we're at a point where I'm saying, as Dungeon Masters, we need to start jumping in, especially and directly on American culture. Because if you fix American culture, that fix will trickle down to the rest of the world within a year. Because every other nation in the world copies America on everything, except a few topics. South Korea beat us in choreography, and I think that's it. I think that's literally the only thing any other nation has done better than America, right? Like the world copies America. America doesn't copy any other nation in the world, right? Like, because we just don't need it. Like nobody does anything better than us, right? So the problem though is Dungeon Masters are hesitant to do this, right? But they shouldn't be. Why should Dungeon Masters not be hesitant to say, hey, this is what I want to happen with the World Economic Funds. This is what I want to happen with law enforcement. This is the new rules for space. Why should Dungeon Masters have absolutely no hesitancy in saying, hey, this is how we should structure healthcare for America, right? Like, why should Dungeon Masters have zero hesitation to lead, right? Well, the answer is Nathan Fielder, right? So who is Nathan Fielder? Interesting guy. He's a marginally successful comedian, right? And recently he put on a show called The Rehearsal. And so it's a joke. The whole show's a joke, right? And he's a marginally successful comedian. And in it, he says to the whole world, he's like, hey, everyone, hey, I'm a marginally successful comedian. FAA, you need to change the way pilots fly planes. Hey, I'm a marginally successful comedian. Hey, Congress, Senate, and House, you need to listen to me and change how pilots of commercial jets in America are trained, right? And senators are like, wait, you're a marginally successful comedian? And I'm supposed to listen to you about how every commercial pilot of a commercial jet in America is trained to fly civilians? Yes, I'm Nathan Fielder. I'm a marginally successful comedian. You have to listen to me. No hesitation, just complete conviction that he is the right person to tell America how to train commercial pilots. He has absolutely no hesitation saying, I'm the expert here. I'm a marginally successful comedian. Senators, congresspeople, and the FAA's president should all do what I say because I'm a marginally successful comedian, right? He's not wrong. He is absolutely correct. Nathan Fielder is a much better source to determine how commercial pilots should be trained than the FAA president, than any senator in America, and any congressperson in America, right? And do you know why? Nathan Fielder is not charismatic, not in any way. He's just intelligent and confident. And with 2 out of the 3 requirements to be a dungeon master, he's like, yes, the whole world needs to listen to me, and I'm going to fix this problem we have. And every dungeon master needs to wake up and say, if Nathan Fielder has the confidence to rule the world with 2 out of 3 of the attributes I have, then I absolutely need to wake up tomorrow and tell the world, listen, you need to change the way healthcare works, the way money is spent, the way education works, the way we produce energy, because I will tell you how to fix the world, because I'm a dungeon master. And on February 7th, 1974, a bolt of lightning rolled through history to activate me to fix the world. Gary Gygax built Dungeons & Dragons to fix people at the table. Dungeon masters were commanded by Gary Gygax to master the dungeon and beyond. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important thing is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.